Welcome back to Summoned to Another World for the second time, Anime Review episode number 6. Well, we're here discussing the last two episodes released of the show, and I like the ending. It was actually quite really good here. So, we have many different battles happen in the course of episode 11. We have the two Beast Sisters take on the Innkeeper, and then you have like a beast transformation, which basically they're merging into one and beating basically the Innkeeper. I don't remember her name. I don't know if she's the Innkeeper. And she had like the move arm for Limbbreaker, and of course, she's defeated. No problem. And we don't see her again after that. Sadly. We have Roha, where she is taking on this androgynous man who's got an iron body, also make his body into like iron dust. And she doesn't do it beast transformation, surprisingly. And she does beat him by basically using this energy surrounding her body, and then proceed to, well, punch him really hard, and despite making spikes in his body. She got injured, and because of the fact she kind of defeated him, he used Lana's power to heal her wounds. I'm like, what a gentleman he is for healing the wounds of a woman who defeated him. But we turn to the fact this guy is actually gay because he likes his words, he likes hot guys. So, in the case of basically, like, you think, okay, so, by the way, Setsu beats the guy who he fought back, like, I think in episode 4, I think it was. Yeah, it turns out this is the same guy from episode 4. He fights him here, defeats him in a pretty interesting battle. And then 5 ends back at the Demon Castle, which is kind of weird. The fact Toma is there for some reason. Yeah, why in the world he went to the castle? I don't know. Lavia is there because she's worried about her. I get that because they're friends, but it's not really explained why Toma is here. And he attacks them both, and Setsu's here, and all his friends show up. And Urha, basically, when she sees him beginning of episode 11, she attacks him, almost seemed like she was about to kiss him because she likes him. And she's like, oh, Elsa's been practicing trying to use her as like she wants to be like a chair for him. He's like, we'll handle that later. Okay, I kind of thought it was kind of funny. And then, of course, all episode 12 is simply Setsu versus Tome because all the other people were defeated. Yeah, really cool fight. The gun kept changing forms. Like, one is like a big gun, a Gatling gun. This big, humongous thing inside of a freaking blimp basically fires. Eventually, of course, after this long battle, it takes almost an entire episode, Toma is defeated. But it turns out he was also cursed too, so he's been reformed. So his punishment is to send the high scorers back to the world. And I'm like, not a bad idea. Those characters did practically nothing the entire show. And I'm like, what was the point of summoning these characters if you're not doing anything with them? So they gotta go back into their portal. Toma stays behind because he wants to explore the world. And Urha, which I kind of suspect she would stay behind, given the fact that she wasn't there when everyone else went home. So then they proceed to travel to Demon Con, and we see Riri, first time seeing her since episode 4, where she's got a food stand. She's probably also got a jewelry store too. Checking with basically the Demon Queen herself, and then afterwards he goes back to visit the Beast Kingdom, which of course the guards forget the fact he says he is. And then later and the two Beast Sisters come in. Of course, they jump down like it's a repeat of episode 8. And so apparently Rio's been named the commander of the forces, and the two girls named her deputies. You're like, okay, cool. Oh, as for Melee, she was knocked out in episode 10 after defeating a woman she called her sister. So then we see her, she's bandaged up. I'm assuming she's back in the Demon Kingdom. It's not really clear. As for what happened to everybody else, now I am presuming they're all dead. Now in the case of the 4 of them, I'll get to my thoughts later. I'm assuming of the 4, Toma's obviously alive. Now, in the case of Mahler, she's obviously dead because she's stabbed both the magic organs, so she's dead. As for the innkeeper, not clear with her because we also show the flashback that she had did she survive this battle? Not clear because the Beast Girl just leave her there. In the case of the man with the iron body, it looks like he just he just sort of in the way collapsed. I think I can tell I think he just walks away. That's what I'm guessing anyways. The guy who said fights, oh, he's up, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. But in the case of basically Toma, basically his power has been completely drained, so he gets to wander, and that's kind of it here. So it is a good ending. Of course, Elsie stays behind, even though she wants to go with Setsu because she's one of the girls in love with him. Now, the Demon Queen, it's implied that she's got a thing for Setsu, but it's not clear with that one. It's like she probably wants to be with him. By the way, her interaction with Urha is barely there because these two have interacted in 2 scenes the entire show. Despite the fact, if you see the light novel, they're on the cover and they share on the cover, but they're not in the anime. Oh no. The first time these two ever start seen together is in the final episode of the entire series, where they're in the scene basically together. They share no dialogue, and then later on, before the credits start rolling, they share a scene again, and once again, no dialogue is exchanged. And I'm like, then why in the world would the source material promote the fact these two are close and fighting over Setsu's affections? I'm guessing there must be some cuts here. Now, I don't know if it was this could easily be blamed on the anime per se, or could blame the source material. I don't know. But the anime itself was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this anime. Now, what anime is next? Well, we do have another fantasy one. One that aired just very recently, so this is not that too old. And unlike in the case of this one, which I don't dub. Next one. Oh, yeah. This next one's going to have a dub. Now, who could I see dubbing these characters if they ever have a chance to dub them? Given Setsu's character, I can see Aaron Desmuke basically voicing him. Yes. Given what I saw over Dr. Stone, I can easily see him voicing his character. After all, aside from Senku, I can't think of any series Aaron Desmuke has been in where he has voiced the main character. What about Demon Queen herself? I could easily see Colin Clickabeer voicing her. Or probably not Stephanie Young per se. Stephanie I can see voicing the Innkeeper. That's presumed anyways. I could see Monica Rial voicing either one of the Beast Girls or probably Roa. I could see her doing that one. That's possible. What about Rico Vajaro? For him, I could presumably see him voicing the Beast King. He's possible. Could I see him voice the Human King? No, not really. I could probably see maybe Bruce Elliott or not Jen Term. No. The princess who has very little dialogue the whole show. Maybe now Lucy Krishna, I could easily see her voicing Urha. I think that's a perfect character for her to do if they ever cast her to voice her. Though could also be Lindsay Seidel. She could also voice one of the characters in the show. There's nothing that she can't. But the problem with the big problem with the show is that a lot of the characters don't really appear a lot in the show. I mean, in the 12th episode this run has, the only character that appears in all the 12 episodes is Setsu. The supporting cast don't appear in all the episodes. Unlike other anime I come across where they do appear in just about almost all the episodes, not the case this one. Also, this is the first isekai I come across where there's only 2 non-human species. Just demons and beastmen. That's it? Though, you could say also the sea monster thing, because you see Olivia in the episode. But I'm it's also the first one I come across where no elves. None. I'm that is interesting. No elves. You could say Takatai Nini, because that's all humans up. I'm having elves there is really weird because Excuse me. That's a common trait with pretty much just about every single anime come across, where there's always been elves in a fantasy series. Elves are very common, along with dwarves. Those are very common too. Let's see. Those are the most popular ones that I do see. I would say those two are pretty much almost all the ones I've come across. These two are always there. I would say I could throw in slimes because you don't see slimes the whole show, which is kind of weird. Yeah, it's almost like you watch the show, like, wow, there's a lot of fantasy characters, creatures, just not here. There's not even any fairies in the show. Yeah, no fairies. Also, the human kingdom, they practically do nothing the entire show. The king himself appears in 3 episodes out of freaking 12. The princess appears in like 2. She appeared in the opening episode, which you had like, oh, basically the standard thing of, oh, we have fight a demon, and of course, yeah. But yeah, a lot of stuff is very standard. Then basically something like, ooh, something really original. The whole thing of guns thing is something that I've seen now a couple times in these anime where guns are basically coming to fantasy worlds now, which are interesting idea. This is only the third anime I come across recently where we have a gun in a fantasy anime series. Of course, you could say Overlord kind of started this, but after that, there was no. But in the case of that one, it was like one character who very rarely was used in the show, but as a prominent feature of the show, I think this is the third one I come across as prominently featured. First being That's Democratic Slime, the second being the Onisa New Adventure, and this will be the third one. But next one basically is another fantasy-based series. I'm just gonna watch it tomorrow because. Well, I got Shane doing. I really want to get some other stuff read first before I get. Now, the anime is ready to go. I'm going to start tomorrow, so I can have much more plenty of time for that one. I'm glad I got this one done. Okay, so that's pretty much a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, notifications. I will see you all later for maybe Comment Corner. Okay, next video. Bye.